ESPN picked the Falcons as a favorite fit for one of the best draft prospects in this year's draft. So we're going to check that out on today's episode. Really quick, though, if you could all do me a big favor and click that thumbs up button down below. But ESPN's Matt Bowen put out, I thought, a really nice article with 20 prospects and the best/favorite fit for them. So let's see who he had going to Atlanta at number 15. You can see in order of when these teams are picking Shedeur Sanders for the Browns. Again, this is just his favorite fits. Not a mock draft, but where would a player best succeed with this team? And so as we make our way, he didn't do all 32 picks in round one, or even all 32 teams for that matter, but he did do the Falcons. And at pick number 15, his favorite fit for Will Johnson is Atlanta. Here's what Bowen wrote about it. He has the physical traits to play man coverage, but I like him best in a system that allows him to play top down on the ball. That fits under Coach Raheem Morris in Atlanta defense that played zone coverage, both split safety and single high on 61% of opponent dropbacks last season, 12th in the league. So my reaction to this is, good. Welcome aboard the Will Johnson hype, train here, because I'm doing my absolute best to put out as much just general propaganda to get Johnson to Atlanta, because I feel like this would be an awesome pick for the Falcons. Now, I don't necessarily see eye to eye with what Bowen is talking about from a schematic fit. Will Johnson, I think, is a great outside corner. I think he can just go man-to-man with someone and lock him down for 60 minutes. Raheem Morris's defense is more of a zone-based defense, which I don't want you guys to think, oh, if you're a good press man corner, you can't play well in a zone. No, if you're a good football player, you're going to find a way to play good football still. But I don't see that comparison between the two. Now, Johnson, you can look at his 2023 numbers, because that's really the season we should be looking at. He missed a lot of 2024, so Johnson is someone that is going to go to a team because of the tape he put out 2 seasons ago compared to last season when he only played 6 games. And even in 6 games, he casually had 2 interceptions, which were both returned for touchdowns. So he is a playmaker, and this Falcons defense needs playmakers. Since Terry Fontenot took over in 2021, look at where they rank in some pretty important defensive stats. Sacks, dead last. Pressures, second to last. Interceptions, 29th. Takeaways, 30th. There is a lot of work to be done here. So the question then becomes, what is the best position to target to turn this defense around? Do you start by building up the secondary, making sure no one gets open, you get some more interceptions, some more big takeaways, some splash, big plays for the defense, or do you try and build up front with the defensive line to pressure the quarterback? My thinking is you start by pressuring the quarterback, and then it trickles down from there. Now, I know me advocating for Will Johnson is the exact opposite of that. I just believe Johnson is going to be a perennial Pro Bowl player, that if he goes 16 right after Atlanta, it'll be something that Falcons fans talk about for the next decade of, oh, how did Atlanta pass on Will Johnson? So while, yes, they do need pass rush help, and that is the first place they should target to fix this defense, this may be the year where you can get away with that, because it is such a deep edge rusher class. The edge rusher you're going to find in round 2 is going to be a very good prospect. So if they want to go edge corner, Will Johnson in round 1, insert edge in round 2 might be a better duo than Mike Green in round 1 and insert corner in round 2. Now, looking at the Falcons cornerback room, they brought back Mike Hughes. D. Alford is still a free agent, and maybe they re-sign him, but I don't think so, which means at this stage, Clark Phillips would be my guess for the starting nickel corner. However, he has mostly only played outside, so this would be a change for him. Maybe you go with Latrone Brooks or Keith Taylor. I'm not very optimistic about that. If you do draft Will Johnson, it is not to play nickel for you. So you have to likely either move Mike Hughes to nickel, which he was an outside corner for you last year, or you sit Johnson on the bench for a season and let him kind of develop and also maybe let him get healthy a little bit from last year. Overall, I'm in the business of adding good players. And if there's not a immediate starting role for Johnson this year, that is not ideal for a team that needs some help on defense. I'm willing to have a little bit of patience because I'm just that high on Johnson as a prospect. Now, having said all this, we have to, of course, acknowledge that the front five is, well, it's lackluster. We are looking for more here, right? And I would not be upset if they went with an edge rusher. That's not the takeaway of this video. I wouldn't even be upset if they passed on Johnson for an edge rusher. I could understand the positional need just superseding any kind of love you have for Will Johnson, the draft prospect. But I just can't seem to shake the guy that's been at the top of my radar since January. For those of you that have been following this channel and our draft coverage for 2-3 months now, if he's there at 15, I'm not going to be upset at that pick in the slightest. Now, I've got more to share on this in just a moment, but first things first, I do want to give a big shout out to our friends over at Prize Picks. Springtime is here and baseball season is officially underway. So don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your Prize Picks lineup. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs, take your pick of more or less for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash today. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states, including Georgia. So here's an example of what some Prize Pick selections look like. You just pick more or less. It's that simple on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can help lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday, where Prize Picks on Tuesdays discount select player projections up to 25%. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. So building off of what we were just talking about, what to do at 15, it is March 31st. It is time for me to grow a pair and really put out my top 5. So here it is. Will Johnson is my preferred target for pick number 15. Of course, when you're picking at 15, beggars can't be choosers, and you got to have a lot of good backup plans. After Johnson, I'm going to go with Jalen Walker. He does not play a traditional edge role. I think he is overall an outstanding defensive player, and the Falcons' defense is not at a position where they are just one piece away. They need some type of identity up front, and I think Walker, making the trek from Athens to Atlanta, can provide that. 3 through 5 is what I flip-flop on every single day pretty much. Right now, I've got Mike Green from Marshall at 3, James Pierce from Tennessee at 4, and Michael Williams from Georgia at number 5. There is a very real chance that Johnson and Walker are gone before 15. So I don't want anyone to get their hopes up of, the plan is to take one of those two guys. No, it's kind of like when you're applying to colleges. Those are your dream schools. And you might get into your dream school. I did. Go Vols though. But still, you should have a good list of backup options. Fuck you, Syracuse. So, grade a Will Johnson draft pick. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comment section below. If that's the pick, what's the reaction, right? Kind of close your eyes. You're sitting on your couch. You're watching the draft. Roger Goodell walks up and then, I love that jingle. And he goes, with the 15th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Will Johnson, cornerback, Michigan. What is it? What is it? Is it A, B, C, D? I'm giving it an A. And I'm sticking my neck out a little bit for this one because I know how big of a need pass rusher is for this team. And this is the only player that you're going to catch me breaking my pass rusher rule and mantra for. Because I just think he's that good. If you're wondering, by the way, here are some of the other favorite fits from Matt Bowen. So Nick Emanwari, Another possible Falcon draft target. He went to the Vikings. Not went to the Vikings, but selected to the Vikings. Mike Green for the Commanders. Walter Nolan to the Eagles. Those are 3 players to keep an eye on. Mason Taylor, I don't think they're going to go tight end. These are all round 2 picks now. Darian Porter, remember earlier when I said if you go Mike Green in round 1 and insert corner in round 2, Darian Porter and Siobhan Revel are 2 fun corners to watch for. They are traits guys, and Atlanta could have found themselves in a spot where with Hughes and Terrell kind of locked in to be their starting outside corner, they can take a traits guy who would have a year to develop. And Revel was a playmaker at East Carolina, just unfortunately tore his ACL very early this year, but he's got incredible speed, and teams are going to be attracted to that speed and length. And Darian Porter is 6'4". He's going to be taller than 90% of receivers he goes up against. And 90% of the time, the corner is the shorter one in the matchup. So some team is going to fall in love with a 6'4" corner who holds multiple Iowa high school track records. And I'm in the business of drafting football players, not track stars, but I know there will be a GM or 2 out there that goes, I can't pass on that type of mold that my coach can turn into a fantastic starter for this team. Before we sign off, I do want to give a quick shout out to one of you that commented on our recent video. So we're going to roll the wheel. I had a fun week, by the way. I meant to mention this earlier in the video. This past weekend, I had to fly back to the Atlanta area for some wedding stuff. I had to meet with the pastor. And as you all know, or most of you know, I'm a Tennessee fan. And the pastor meeting was an hour before the Tennessee Elite Eight game. We don't need to talk about that game. And it was in Loganville, which is just kind of like east of Atlanta. And I was obviously more determined to find a spot to watch the Tennessee game than, meet Pastor David. So great meeting Pastor David, by the way. Anyway, quick sidebar. He asked what I do, and I'd explain this channel to him. And then he was like, oh, didn't the Falcons just hire a new coach? And I was like, oh, Pastor David, it's been a year since you caught up with the Falcons news out there. That was last offseason. But anywho, and what I'm getting at here is I watched the Tennessee game at an awesome kind of like dive bar-y sports bar. It's called Legends. If anyone is from that neck of the woods, go check it out. It was great. I'm on the diet, so I just had rabbit food, but my fiance had a great turkey club and very good bar to watch Falcons games and Georgia games. They had 75-cent wings, and for Falcons games and Georgia games, they do $3 tall boy beers. So hard to beat that deal. Okay, Reed's getting done on my free promo for Legends, so let's spin the wheel here. Legends, shout out to you, though. Legends Sports Grill, I think it was called. Legends Grill and Bar. And our viewer of the day is Grant Anderson. Grant, 2 claps for you. 1, 2. We'll see you all later.